Welcome to a medieval two-total war hot seat campaign. A hot seat campaign is human players versus human players. Every single faction right now is controlled by a human, not the AI, apart from the Papal States, but with a twist. It has teams. So, Team 1 is Sicily, the Moors, Egypt and Venice all working together under one banner. Then there's Scotland, France, England and Spain, which is going to be a very dominant power in the west, I can imagine. Then in the centre we have Denmark, the HRE, Poland and Milan. So that's sort of a centre power. And then the eastern power, Byzantium, Russia, Hungary and the Turks. So you can see them all in the top right corner. And those are all the teams. So it's human versus human player. Some turns have already moved. Venice, as we can see, already taken Durazzo. I'm going to overview this campaign and watch it as if it was a AI only campaign. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Let's begin. This hot seat, by the way, was hosted by your Total War Master. I will try and link some players down in the description below. But of course I won't be able to get all of them in there. I'll pick the ones that are like playing really well sort of thing, like the best players in there. Those are the ones I would add. Thank you to your Total War Master for sending me the files and allowing me to do this. His Discord and YouTube channel link will be down in the description below. But more on that later. Okay, so we're spectating as the English to start off with, and they seem to be going for Bruges. They'll have some agreement with France, like what land they can take, what land they cannot take. We got a fleet here, so it seems like they're putting all of their armies in the ships, along with Scotland, who is working with England and France, which is a very weird combination, and it looks like they are pushing for Oslo, to try and stop the Danish from getting there. Yeah, I think their plan is to knock out the Danish and the HRE first. The HRE has a fort in the Hungarian land. This is going to be an interesting campaign. It's going to be slow for the first few turns, but, you know, once these wars get declared, it's going to get good. The HRE took Florence, but Milan, losing the actual city of Milan itself, Venice, swooping on in there. I like this fort though, so that this can't happen again, and it seems Milan will take it back. But yeah, that was a very early game move. They almost actually destroyed the Milanese, almost sneaked in there, and look at this. They've built a fortress of ships. I like this strategy here. I don't know if it's going to work at all, but it looks good. It looks like it could work. I don't know, I doubt it though. France, looking very big right now, pushing further east to take Bern and Staufen. Venice making it down here to Smyra as well. Wow, that's they're really like hopping across there, using their Mediterranean power to their advantage, making sure the Byzantines don't get their hands on this, and the Turks taking a few settlements as well. I think the Middle East for now is going to be quite quiet, but I can imagine this being a major battleground. Maybe the Mongols might get in. How will all the human players respond to that? But Venice, they held out in Milan. They actually survived somehow. Must have got some reinforcements in, which means Milan now stuck with one settlement. That's it, that's all they've got left. France blocked them off by taking Corsica. Milan could be gone in just the first couple of turns here, well, the first few turns. And just like that, Milan are off the field. Venice has taken over and secured northern Italy. They also made a push on Bologna and Florence as well. Venice looking very powerful in the early game. Very powerful. Venice, by the way, is played by Mergor. Some of you may know Mergor, but yeah, well done to him so far, playing this Venice Let's Play. Got quite a big empire right now. I think he's currently the biggest power. But of course it's a team game. He is allied with, who is Venice? Egypt, Moors and Sicily. So combined, they're not actually that big power really, combined. Like, Sicily hasn't expanded. Egypt only taken Accra, about to take Jerusalem though, and the Moors losing Cordoba. So overall, as a team, they're not looking that good right now. I'll say the best team right now is the Western Europeans. Scotland, England, France and Spain. The Scottish have landed up here and looks like they're going to take Oslo. Denmark not really doing that much here. I feel like Bruges has been under siege since the very start, has it? Yeah, I think it actually has. 2 turns left, they're starving it out. Okay, weird strategy, but okay. And the HRE. No troops on the front line here. France has walked in to take Frankfurt, which I think is the capital originally. Yeah, just no troops at all for the HRE. I wonder where. I got some over here, but overall, not many. They expanded too far this way, I think, with the rebel settlements. The French getting down here. They've taken Pamplona from the Portuguese, going now for Zaragoza as well. Of course, they're allied with the French, so this is just dominance here, and Portugal, rest in peace. Of course, they're all the way over here on their own. I think they're actually an AI faction. Oh yeah, I think Portugal was an AI faction, so that's not too bad. They were meant to die anyway, really. And there we go, Frankfurt has fallen. A massive cut in the HRE right now. The HRE, they need to step it up. Oh, they've lost Vienna as well to the Hungarians. Yeah, they need to step it up. They're meant to be like the main power of the central team, but now Milan's gone, HRE is falling. It's only Poland left on the team, unless, hold on. Poland and Denmark, never mind. Alright, Denmark has taken Stockholm and are going to take Oslo. Right, that's not too bad then. Why has no one yet gone for Wales? Right, it seems like the Scots are going for it now. Of course, the way Britain's going to be split must have been decided by some agreement early on, and it seems like Scotland have been given, actually all the rebel settlements here. But England, of course, has been given Bruges and Antwerp, by the looks of things. Now Venice, they've taken Ajaccio, Corsica, and they're now swooping down and taking Marseille as well. Venice have taken Rome. The Papal States have been mostly destroyed. They've still got their army, of course, and the Pope, but yeah, in terms of settlements, they're done. The Turks, looking like a big power now. Wonder where they're gonna go. What are the Turks going to do? Sicily, finally getting some expansion, taking Tunis. And Portugal, rest in peace Portugal. Spain, I was going to say Spain has united all of Iberia, but the French being at the top here, yeah, I guess it's united mostly under the team because they are on the same team. Yeah, I guess it counts. Once they've taken Valencia, of course. They've kicked the Moors out is what I'm trying to say. They've kicked the Moors out. France moving on to Magdeburg as well. The Hungarians moving on to Krakow. Yeah, it's really not looking good for the Central Powers, I don't think. Their last hope right now is in Denmark. What's he doing with his troops up here? Get them down. Help defend Hamburg. Hungary actually swooping up here and taking Halch as well, bordering the Russians, but they are allied with the Russians, yeah. Yeah, there must be some agreement there with what land they can all take. Hamburg is under siege, Magdeburg has collapsed. The Russians moving into Thorn, about to destroy the Poles. It's really not looking good for the Central Powers. Poland's about to go, the HRE's super weak. Denmark, you know, they had a slow start, at least they've got some settlements now, but I cannot see Denmark being the one to pull this back. Egypt expanding, taking some rebel settlements. That's good. How's Venice looking? Venice, they've taken Thessalonica. Will they push and sack Constantinople? Hopefully they do. Come on, Mergor, that's what I want to see here. Alright, the HRE is pushing onto the Hungarians. Hungary, by the way, is played by your Total War Master. Possibly the best player in this hot seat right now. Maybe Mergor might be the best in this hot seat. Difficult to say. There's a lot of good players here, but your Total War Master, you know, he's the host. He knows what he's doing. And can Hungary get the win, along with his allies? Although having a close border with Venice, Mergor, that's going to be rough. This is going to be a brutal front eventually. And Poland is dead. Rest in peace, Poland. The Byzantines, though, took Thessalonica back. I wouldn't see a Turk-Egyptian war. I think we will do soon, but not yet. We're not ready for that yet. Valencia, the French went and took it. It seems the Spanish just playing leapfrog with the forts down to Marrakesh. Got some more reinforcements here as well. Oh yeah, and Innsbruck fell to Venice. Ah, the English did take Wales after all. But Venice swooping up and taking Toulouse here. The French have got down and taken Algiers. And like that, the Moors are gone, didn't even realise. Yeah, the French, this must have been very coordinated. The French moved down to take Algiers, and the Spanish hop over and take Marrakesh, destroying the Moors. So right now, about 11 or 12 turns in, look at the strength of the Western powers. They're looking good, and then it's the Eastern powers, I guess. Constantinople fell to Venice. Yes, we actually saw it. I was going to say the Eastern powers are looking strong, but no, they're not. Not anymore. Not anymore. The Mediterranean powers of Venice, Sicily, and Egypt. They're holding on for now. They're holding on. The HRE down to the final 2 settlements as the Hungarians swoop in to take Prague, and somehow the Russians jumped over to take Breslau. The Turks looking very powerful, and the Byzantines down to their final settlement in Thessalonica. Can they make a comeback here though? Can they take the settlement back? Oh, they got Cyprus as well. They got Cyprus. They'll survive for now. No, they failed. They actually failed it. They're now stuck with just Thessalonica and Cyprus, and that's it. And it seems the Egyptians are moving in to take that one. I think Byzantium, I think they are done. Although the Turks showing interest now in Egyptian territory. Look at them. The standoff here. Neither of them dares take Damascus. If one takes it, their army would be weak because they've had to fight the rebels, and then the other one can swoop in. Denmark loses its capital. Okay, and you're probably wondering what's happened. Well, due to a player-player issue that went on, the borders were changed, and the HRE got some land back and a new player in for some factions. Venice moving up to take Bordeaux. So yeah, the war's going to continue, but some stuff had to get set back. And it seems, ooh, the Turks pushed for Damascus. And Accra taking that, and the Egyptian army must have been defeated because the Egyptians are gone. They've got no troops left. Russia taking Stockholm, and the Scots taking Oslo. And with that, Denmark is gone, and the Central Powers, should I call them the Central Powers? No, that makes me think I'm saying something else. The Central Europeans, they've just got the HRE left. That's it. They've lost Poland, Milan, and Denmark. Just the HRE left. Venice taking Valencia. We're definitely seeing a very good campaign here from Mergor as Venice. Good campaign from your Total War Master as well as Hungary. France, can they bring it back? France is now under the control of Rommyh. Rommyh is also quite a good player in all of this. And the HRE are now dead to regicide. They lost all their family members. Rest in peace HRE and the Central Powers, the Central Europeans. And Dijon falls, and I think Bern fell as well, making Venice look like a massive superpower right now. Byzantium still holding out, but look at Venice, how far their empire stretches. Wow, but the team member, Egypt, has lost Jerusalem, and they're now back to mostly just their starting settlements. France, taking Magdeburg from the rebels, and taking back Toulouse, trying to bring it back. Can Rommyh do it? Can he do it? And Frankfurt has fallen to the English. I believe it was, yeah, that was a rebel settlement, wasn't it? Yeah, the English stepping in there, trying to take Frankfurt, so they have a front line to help defend against the Hungarians. And the Turks, played by Marob, looking very good right now. Poor Egyptians, down to the final 3 settlements. Sicily, under the control of Luckyboy, a faction I've not yet really brought up. They have kicked the French out of Africa, by taking Algiers, and what mess is this? Ugh, all those boats there just look horrible. He's now taken Tripoli as well. There's 2 rebel settlements left of the HRE, Stettin, which the Russians are going for, and Staufen, which has a very big, tough garrison. I wouldn't even bother going for that one. I'll just keep it rebel, that's not worth it. That's too big of a garrison. The French with the comeback, taking Bordeaux. The Spanish took Valencia. And the Venetians being pushed back, but they're pushing forwards as well. Moving into Hungarian land, taking Budapest, Bran and Bucharest from your Total War master, the Hungarian player. Can Mergor kill him? Alexandria has fallen. Sicily landing now in Granada, really trying to make the comeback here. Luckyboy, how lucky can he really be? The French, they actually dared to take Staufen, that massive rebel settlement, and they've taken Bern off the Venetians as well. Venice, they really need to defend. They're losing a lot of territory fast. And France is back as a superpower. The Turks pushing down, taking Cairo, Egypt, down to the final settlement. Will their ally, the Venetians, help them? I don't think so. I don't think Venice has troops to spare. Innsbruck has fallen to Hungary. They've put the counter-attack on. But can they take back their homeland? Venice got too powerful and everyone hated them for it. It's now just a union of Venice and Sicily. Holding most of, if at their height, for both of them it would have been like the Roman Empire almost that they controlled. They've got Egypt as well, but I don't see Egypt making much of a comeback. Yeah, it's always good to just have a reminder of the teams. So it's out of the main powers right now, Venice and Sicily, Hungary, Russia and the Turks, and the only one with all 4 powers still left, Scotland, England, France and Spain. And never mind. I did not expect that at all, so they got regicided. Regicide is where you lose all your family members and you become a rebel. A rebel empire sort of thing. All your settlements go rebel. And I believe that is what happened to Spain here. Was it actually Luckyboy killing them near Granada as Sicily? Was that what did it? Either way, right now all of its land is free territory. I bet Sicily will take Cordoba, Lisbon and Marrakesh. Valencia might get in and take Toledo and Lyon. Can the French get some troops down here? If not, that's probably going to be... I think Bologna was sold over because Venice and Sicily, they're on the same team. So I bet they sold it for something. Wow, this suddenly opens up a lot of potential for these factions here. Who's going to dominate in Iberia? We're going to see a massive Iberian push, I think, for all that free land. And Egypt taking Thessalonica. No surviving at Thessalonica, because this was Venetian territory. And Venice is allied with the Egyptians, which means that... Oh, that's adorable. Venice sold Thessalonica to the Egyptians to keep them alive. Oh, I like that. I like it when stuff like that happens. Like creating a small, what's it called? An embassy or no, an asylum for him. I like that, that's cute. And Sicily cannot manage the public order and they lost Bologna. Venice, just take it for yourself. So much simpler that way. Hungarian Crimea, I saw that a while ago but I didn't mention it. And the push begins. Toledo was taken by the French. Cordoba taken by the Sicilians. Hungary swooping down, taking Milan, getting a foothold in Italy. Although they've lost their homeland, they are still continuing to be a main power. Egypt have also been given Corinth now. Good for them. And Sicily has been given Crete and Rhodes as well, to sort of like share the money, split the power sort of thing. But they did lose Dongola. They're only just surviving in Greece now thanks to their helpful ally. It was the French who took Lyon, and it looks like they are trying to go for Lisbon as well. France surges forward, taking Milan and Genoa. Milan from Hungary, Genoa from Venice. And now Italy is under threat. Can France keep the push going? Sicily jumping into Egypt all of a sudden, taking Cairo and Alexandria. Wow, if you're wondering how they usually... Although I skipped 2 turns there for the last bit. If you're wondering how they get in there in 1 turn, what they use is a lot of siege equipment, but also they spam spies to open the gates, so they don't have to worry about, you know, building siege equipment. They just open the gates with a spy and then get in there. They've always got a load of spies to try, but you can see them around the map all the time. That's how these players do it. Byzantium, are they making a comeback? Can they take Smyrna back and then Constantinople? I doubt it, but I'd love to see it. Lyon fell to France. I think I've already said that. Yeah. And they took Valencia from the Venetians, but Venice, they counter that by taking Milan and Genoa back under their control. The Scots moving in onto Thorn with a massive army. You know, that's quite an important settlement for Russia as well. A frontline castle. They don't really have any other settlement like that, no. That's their most important settlement, I would say, for Russia. The Russians did hold out. Maybe they had some agreement with Scotland, like they pulled back. I don't know what happened. We are only limited. We're sort of like a historian doing archaeology. There's only so much we can find out. We've got to try and put as much of a picture together as possible, but there's of course going to be some gaps. Nice beer. Yes, like gaps in history that we don't understand. At least Hungary is making a bit of a comeback, and Russia as well, as they're on the same team. Russia taking Budapest and Bucharest falling back again to the Hungarians. But Venice has taken... I don't even know what this one is. Oh, they've all changed the names. I'm lost. But the Turks, they came back and took Cairo and Alexandria back. Venice marching north, taking Bern and Staufen, 2 very valuable castles right in Central Europe. If they can get some good troops out of them, that's going to be a very big boost. Byzantium surviving all the way up here. Somehow they made it, surviving just on Cyprus, for most of the game. And they made it up here. Are they going to conquer Russia now? Try that out. But Venice making the comeback against the Hungarians. Russia has been pushing forward quite successfully in Northern Europe. They've taken Denmark, Hamburg, Stettin, Magdeburg. They've of course been taking these over a variety of turns. I haven't been paying that much attention to Russia, but yeah, definitely an interesting faction. Good job to them. Venice have taken Paris. France loses its capital. Meanwhile, Venice over here has also taken Iconium. Or maybe I'm getting them too mixed up, I don't know, I can't tell anymore. But yeah, the Turks, they're collapsing now to the Venetians. Venice is holding out still against Hungary, and taking Paris as well. They've got Sicily as an ally, who have most of Africa, doing reasonably well in Iberia, although slowed down a bit now. Also fighting the Turks as well. Now the Turks, they've moved up and taken these 2 islands and Corinth, which means Egypt might soon die to the Turks. Oof. Either way, we got 1 turn left. 1 turn to decide it. And this is where the hot seat ends. Of course, you know, players put a lot of time into this. It does take quite a while to do. I think this has been in the works for probably like a year. Yeah, I think it's been over a year this has been going on for now. And it only just finished last month. So yeah, well done to all the players for actually making it this far. So usually they realise there's a dominant power that they can't beat, and it's usually people surrender. And I believe it is the Mediterranean powers of Venice, Sicily, and Egypt and the Moors who have won this game. They are the most powerful right now, although it's not looking good in southern Greece overall. You know, they are pushing against the Turks and winning, and they're also holding out on every other front as well. The Western powers did very well. France, England, Scotland and Spain, but it just seems like it's not been enough. The Russians pushing on them, they've lost Oslo as well. And with the Venetians pushing on them, having a lot of success, I think the Western powers are about to collapse. And then there's the Eastern powers, who I would say by the end came second, possibly. They have the Turks, the Hungarians, and the Russians. The Hungarians, very weak right now. They're more of a buffer state, holding the Venetians away from the Russians. That's all they kind of are right now. But Russia, having a decent campaign, but overall, they don't have that many valuable settlements. And I can imagine, if this was to continue, you know, Venice and Sicily will just eat up the English land and the French land, and eventually the Turks as well, and then Russia's going to be no match for them. And I think Russia knows that. The Turks, putting up a good push in the Greek region here, they might be able to destroy Egypt, get a foothold down here, but, you know, they're losing on their main front. And I think they've also lost a bit of land down here recently as well. So overall, I can't see them actually coming back. I think Venice, Sicily, Egypt, and the Moors, I think they win it. Well done to, I know two players' names here. Mergor playing as Venice. Well done to him for getting the win. Well done to Luckyboy for Sicily, also getting a win with Mergor. We got Marob playing as the Turks, quite a big power right now. Well done Rommyh playing as the French. And yeah, it's all collapsed near the end, but they've had a good campaign, definitely to pull it back as well. And your Total War Master is of course the Hungarians. And that's it, well done to all the players. Thank you to your Total War Master for the saves. If you are interested in taking part in these hot seats, they don't all take a year, like the Kingdom's expansions are much quicker. But yeah, if you are interested in these, join his Discord, it will be linked down below. There's several going on at once, and there's always some spots open. So yeah, if you want to get involved in stuff like this, join his Discord, take part in one of his hot seats, and who knows, your Let's Play could be on this video as well. If you don't think you're good enough, your Total War Master also has a YouTube channel as well, where he uploads every single turn of his hot seats. And yeah, they're very good to learn from, so if you're a new player to hot seats, check him out, check his channel out, and yeah, see some of his videos and how he does it. There's some good stuff you could learn from there. But yeah, thank you to him for making this possible and giving me the files, and thank you to the players as well. It's been good to watch, I've enjoyed it, I hope you have as well. Subscribe for more, and share with anyone you think may be interested. I've been MELKOR, and until the next one, goodbye.